Welcome to the second issue.
I thought we were doing like a barbershop quartet.
Oh, welcome.
It doesn't work for two people.
No, it doesn't.
Which one is mine?
Yours is the gold one.
Gold standard.
Cheers. Is that a thing for each episode?
Yeah. Lover squirrel.
This is part 2, and we are still here.
Still burping.
Still burping.
Oh, there it is. Paradise.
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 This is the second of our drunk book reviews. Please drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Don't drink if you're under 21, because
we're professionals.
We're professionals. You turn into a professional drinker when you turn 21.
It happens.
Okay, so we're doing this review on City of Bones. By The Mortal Instruments, Book 1, City of Bones by Cassandra fucking Clare.
Oh my god, we're drunk.
We have not read any of the sequels. No. I'm warning you of this now.
We've only read number 1,
It's all we could stand to read. But
also, we have not seen the movie, but we would love to while drunk.
Oh god. There's a lot of drama surrounding it, and this is because Cassandra Clare is a very famous fanfiction writer. Yeah. She based her series off of her fanfiction, which was a fanfiction based off of Harry Potter. The main guy in this is essentially Draco in leather pants. She did do a lot of plagiarism in her fanfiction, and a lot of people remember that and are really angry at her for it. So with that said, let's dive in.
If you saw our last one with Evermore, we talked about how much like all classic teen fantasy novels, it always starts with a quote. This one, since it has 3 different parts, each part starts with the one quote!
And there's 2 quotes at the beginning, because there's a quote for the entire book and then there's a quote for the first half. I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first emotion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection. William Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. However, the quote for part 1, Dark Descent, I can't make this up. I sung of chaos and eternal night, taught by the heavenly muse to venture down the dark descent and up to rescend. John Milton, Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is one of my all-time favorite epic poems, period. I love Paradise Lost. Starting this in Paradise Lost makes me hangry.
They always use a quote from a poem, or they use a quote from Shakespeare.
Yep. Or Tiger, Tiger. Burning Bright.
What the fuck?
Have you never read that poem?
No.
It's like the fun of like 5 teen romance novels.
Is it by Dr. Seuss?
No.
Oh my god, if I wrote a teen novel, I would quote Dr. Seuss.
Please do.
It would be about like a dark, mysterious like person with superpowers, and then the quote to open the book would be 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
Open on a guy.
Okay, so
in the rain.
So we should talk about the synopsis. Let's talk about the synopsis. The main character's name is Clary. Something about these teen young adult romances is that they're always some sort of exile in some way. This is very interesting because she is way more of a realistic type of exile, quote unquote. She is you when you were 15 and going through your weeaboo phase. Mm-hmm. It
starts out with her at like a tween club. So she lives in New York City with her mom. She doesn't know her dad. He died.
15, she's awkward, she has bright red hair, freckles, whatever, but she likes to draw her bullshit anime. She has anime posters, and she wears a backpack, one of those that goes on the shoulder.
She has a classic guy best friend who she thinks is gay, but actually has a crush on her.
She goes to this all-ages club, which is such fucking bullshit. She sees this dude, and they go into a back room. And Clary decides to follow them. She sees this guy, like, getting the shit wrecked out of him. And it's hilarious. And they kill him. And she's like, what the fuck? And this sets the pace for introducing characters that seem massively more interesting than our main characters and then killing them off abruptly after they're introduced. Clary then gets in an argument with her mother later because she wants to go to an art class over summer, and her mom wants them to go off for the summer, and she's all pouty about it. She goes off with her friend Simon. She gets like a phone call from her mom or something, and she's like, meow! And so then
her mom turned into a cat.
She goes back to her mom's house, and her mom's gone.
She's gone, and the place is a wreck.
What the fuck?
Like, what is happening?
What's going on? Oh my god, my mom! Then we meet Jace. We also meet his best friend Alec, who is the other guy who is gay and in love with Jace, and his sister Isabel. Isabel is perceived as a bitch in this entire novel. I don't know why, other than she's pretty and is helpful.
Well, that's about it. You have Clary. Again, it's the typical ordinary girl, doesn't really have confidence in herself. She sees Isabel and she's like, I hate you because you're beautiful and I don't think I am.
Me. Basically, it's revealed that these guys are some sort of magicians. They're shadow hunters. They're witches, kind of, only they have like runes that they kind of carve into their skin as like spells. They take her back to like their house that they live in, where these kids are learning how to be shadow hunters. They live with this guy named Hob. He's like the older mentor.
So Claire basically finds out that her family's kind of involved in all of this.
It goes into the next part of the story where rather than, you know, focusing on trying to find her mom, she kind of like takes the time to have a little spirit journey.
Which in some books would be fine, but where your mom is missing, she's missing.
Yeah, she's literally
She's
missing.
the only family you have left.
Jace has no family. His dad died, and his dad was a major asshole to him, so he's got man pain. They decide that they need to figure out maybe Clary's memory or something holds why she would be taken. They extract her memory, and they realize that her memory has been blocked off. She is curious as this, but something that happens a lot in this book is that it just goes on detours and detours and detours and detours. This book is this thick. It needs to be about this thick.
Yeah.
With the amount of actual plot that happened.
The problem lies is that obviously in the book they're trying to find her mom, but they go off on tangents all the time, and it kind of gets to the point where she's like, I gotta find my mom, and then it's like, well, we gotta go over here and do this side quest, but I gotta find my mom, but I need to do this for myself, but I gotta find my mom.
And they discover that they need to go talk to this wizard named Magnus Bane. Wizard! The reason why we go to Magnus's house is so that Simon can be turned into a rat and then be kidnapped by a group of vampires. We go with the group of vampires to go to their hideout so that we can see the group of vampires and meet this awesome vampire dude who then leads us to their great escape at the hands of werewolves who are helping them for reasons unknown. They leave on flying bicycles. This is just as ridiculous as it sounds. Clary realizes that her mother had powers because she was an artist who could paint things. And she hid this special cup of power, it was like the Holy Grail, inside of one of her paintings.
Yeah.
Clary has the ability to recreate this cup. She makes the cup and she's like, I have the cup! Hob takes the cup. He betrays them all. Basically, Hob was a very evil dude who worked with the other evil dude named Valentine, who they think has her mom. Jace disappears because he's taken by Valentine. We get into the third part of the book. The third part of the book is probably the best. It's arguably the best part of the book because it actually has something that's happening. There's like all this book of just like nothing. Like they literally go and get pancakes at one point for no reason. It's just whatever. Let's go eat pancakes.
We're teenagers and we gotta go to Denny's. Product placement.
Except it's like supernatural Denny's.
Product placement.
She meets up with this guy Luke, who tells her that he's really a werewolf. Who he knew her mom, and her mom actually had her and a younger brother with Valentine, and the younger brother was killed at a very young age. And then she escaped. It was actually an older brother, was killed. She was pregnant with Clary. She left. She met some dude who just died of cancer, but he was like with her for like a minute, and then he died, and then she was with Luke, kind of, but not really, but Luke's totally in love with her. And Luke's a werewolf!
Pause. Give you a minute to sink this all into your brain.
Because this happens literally as fast as I've explained it to you.
He takes the clan of werewolves. They're gonna go fight Valentine. There's this big fight scene, right? It's awesome. It's an awesome fight scene.
It is an awesome fight scene.
It's a great like climax. However, it's again one of those things where you introduce these awesome characters of these wolves and these werewolves.
And they have backstory.
And they have backstories.
Really
They're
cool.
awesome. And then they all die.
They fucking die, like all of them, for Clary, for no reason. They find her mom. Her mom's like incapacitated, who's like in a coma nearly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's revealed that Valentine is the person who raised Jace as his father.
What?
So this can only mean that Valentine, who is Clary's father, is also Jace's father. It's very obvious that Valentine is simply the man that raised Jace and isn't actually his father. But we have to do the incest thing. Because pointless drama.
We have to have the conflicted feelings.
It's really, really weird, and it just makes for really forced drama for no reason other than we can't have them together for the second book because Valentine twists his mustache, and leaves through a portal to the Shadow Hunter world.
Yeah. So it basically ends, her mom is still in the coma, she is now at a hospital. Clary being like, okay, we're brother, sister, we need to have this closure with like you coming to see my mom, aka our mom. But at the same time, she's like, I love him. And it's weird. As people who have older brothers, it's weird.
It's pretty weird. I think that incest, if explored correctly, can be very interesting.
It could be, yeah, it could be an interesting
and or
subject.
romantic and or heartbreaking. I've read manga and other books where incest is a key point. It's heart-wrenching or interesting based on how it is framed and how it is gone about. I'm not necessarily endorsing incest in real life because fiction is a fiction and real life is real life, and they are split and I can split them in my mind. They're two separate entities. Yeah, this is... The point is, this is just weird. It's thrown in to be pointless drama.
Yeah, it's pointless drama. It's not needed. Like we've mentioned before, there are characters in this that are interesting, but a lot of the ones that they introduce that are interesting, they get killed off or they don't really go in and explore anything. You have Isabella, who is like this strong female, but because we're going through the mind of Clary, Isabella's made up as this character who's like a bitch and is so beautiful, you have to hate her.
I think that the author could be a talented author. It goes off on tangents way too much and gets caught up in itself. I think that it wasn't properly edited and could have been edited down so much.
Yeah, I don't like the writing. She has weird descriptors. To me, they're just funny.
They call a character who has Liberty Spikes, essentially, that he has hair like a surprised octopus.
Like a surprised octopus.
It's just
what
like
does that look like?
Adjectives.
I don't even know.
It's really silly.
And I have to say, Clary, what I don't like is the fact that she's stronger than what they make her out to be. For example, there's a part near the end of the book where Valentine is taking Jace, and she was given something previously, like in a previous chapter she was given something.
Some sort of thing.
Some sort of
MacGuffin.
Magical substance. But she gets trapped in like this shield thing. So she can't, so she's like, you know, she's trying to save Jace from Valentine and he's taking her away and she's like, I'm trapped. It isn't until they leave that she's like, oh, I have this magic thing that I can get out of here. And I was like, I knew what you had. Why did you remember this? She lacks common sense.
It's true.
And it drives me nuts sometimes.
But at the same time, it could be that the character has flaws, or it could be that it's just poorly written.
Well, I'm fine with the character having flaws. My problem is when a writer writes something that's so obvious, like it's gonna come up and you can see it coming up and you're like...
I give it 6 out of 10 shots. I only needed 6 shots to get through this.
I'll probably give it like 9 out of 10 shots. I think the major flaw is the fact that they veer off so much
I
from
agree.
like the actual plot.
I agree.
This is too much. I need an editor.
I don't care about them going to get pancakes. I don't care about them going to a club. I don't care about them going to this party. I don't care, like...
Find your fucking mom.
Would you recommend other people read this?
No.
I would say yes and no. I would say yes because the parts that are entertaining are pretty entertaining. And you almost have to read it. This is so bad it's good in another way than Evermore. Evermore was just bad and unenjoyable.
Is it like you have to read it to believe it?
Yeah, it's like Tommy Wiseau.
Okay. Yeah,
This
I
is
can
the Tommy
see that.
Wiseau of books.
I can see that.
Rent it from the library because
Yeah.
it's expensive.
It's not worth the money. Thank you, Cassandra Clare. Don't
Okay.
applaud it. It's not.
Okay, on to the next.
Consent. Consent.
Consent.
I say yes.